Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, I know you've seen the title by now, and I just want to tell you that it is not clickbait. eBay truly is reviewing my account. Matter of fact, I've known it for quite a while, and I've chosen not to speak about it because I didn't understand it, I didn't have the details, and I didn't want to spread anything that wasn't accurate. I know on YouTube a lot of times, you get more views by being spectacular and all that. But in reality, it was just something that was stressing me out. It was coming at the time where we were going to go on a little bit of a family trip, and then FlipCon was after that, and I had guests coming up to the cabin, and I just chose to not talk about it on YouTube. I only spoke to 2 people about it, and we do have a few sales today, so you can see that my store's not shut down, but there's not full resolution yet either. So I want to talk about it today. We're going to get right to the topic and talk about it first, and we'll put the sales at the end of the video. All right, y'all, so I'm going to go over kind of this story in detail up to the current moment for you, but I want to give a little context why initially I thought, and I read this message, I'm like, this isn't a big deal. This is one of the periodic reviews or something, and I started to Google and whatever, and I didn't think it was that big a deal. And then as the days went by, as the hours went by, actually the first day, and I started looking into a few things, I'm like, and my mind started to wander a little bit, like, why is this happening? And I started to come up with some reasons why it was happening and possible reasons, because there's no communication, and that's my biggest issue at this point. And of course, just a little context, and you guys know this if you watch my channel, reselling is, well, it is the core of all of my income. So of course we make money on social media, we make money through sponsored ads, we make money with affiliate links, but the core of it is reselling. So I start thinking to myself, you get in this little mind loop, and I'm like, man, what would life be like if I really was permanently banned from eBay? Because you see these stories. Of course, everybody knows, Chris's story, but you could go on here permanently and you just go on forever. And I start diving into this stuff, and I'm like, holy moly, this is crazy. And the one thing that keeps coming back is this permanent thing. It's like, man, if I didn't have eBay, it's a passion of mine. I've been doing it for 22 years. What does this look like? How does this change everything? Even the social media, I'd say 90% of the content we make, you can make picking videos, but if you're not selling on eBay, what do you turn into a whatnot selling what? It's just not my passion. Not that I sell on whatnot, but my passion is buying things at garage sales and coming back and listing them and selling them. And I'm like, this is the core of this channel right here. Everything that we do is kind of focused on reselling itself, and the majority of that, as most of you know, is of course eBay. So there's the context. So I just started thinking, I quit my job as a teacher, and I'm like, how is this story going to end? Am I going to end back in that classroom? What's the deal here? And I'm going to walk you through it with the initial message that I got. And I might put it on the screen here. I don't know, I might put it over here while I talk. We wanted to let you know that because of some, I might not put it over there, I don't know. We wanted to let you know that because of some recent changes in your reselling activity, we were reviewing your account to make sure it's secure. There's nothing you need to do until we finish our review. You'll see a temporary hold on your payouts, and that's a topic as well. We understand that this may be frustrating, but reviews like this help keep our marketplace safe for everyone. Then they go on to give reasons why my account might be being reviewed, and so they don't tell you why it is, but they give you an idea of why it might be. For example, if you're a new seller and you don't have an established selling history, well, that's not the case. We've actually sold this store, I think, has been open 21 years. Had another store, had 2 other stores actually. We had the Homeschool Hustler store as well that we've shut down for different reasons, mostly just accounting reasons. There's a big change in your selling patterns, or if you have an increase in customer claims or late deliveries. Now I'm going to get back to those things in just a second, but I want to read the rest of the message first. Here's what you need to know. We'll review your account within 5 days, 5 days, y'all, and get back to you if we need anything else. If the review is successful, the hold on your payouts will automatically be lifted and your funds will be released as scheduled. You can check the status of the hold on your payouts at any time. And learn more about payment holds using the link below. Again, not so sure about that. Let's see what else. You're welcome to continue to buy and sell while we review your account, which explains all the sales that we've had over the last couple of weeks. They did not shut our store down And I want to get to this because there's partial resolution to this, but not, in my opinion, not the kind of resolution that would suffice me. And at the very end of this message, it says, we appreciate your patience. If you have any questions or concerns, just get in touch. We're here to help. And that's one of the issues too. Thanks for being part of the eBay community. All right, let's get into this a little bit. Somebody won't let me get into it just yet. So it's been a while since I had a treat. So I'm gonna give you a treat and then we're gonna talk about this thing, huh? You don't want that treat? I didn't even make him sit this time. That was bad. I should have done that. All right, so let's look at this 5-day review of my account. And this is, at this point, it's been a couple of weeks. The message itself came across on my messaging system in the early morning hours, like 5 a.m.-ish, something like that. And that's key to this because there's something else that happened that kind of got me thinking maybe this is a bigger deal than I thought. But I still didn't have the answers. Obviously, I don't have a new account, so I'm looking at these other reasons. There's a big change in your selling patterns, and I'm like, well, you know, we did have a lot more listings, and we did sell a lot more, but I've done this before in similar ways. Every year I was teaching, as a matter of fact, because I was teaching all year. I was coaching, driving the bus around, and doing all that. And then as soon as summer hit, my listings doubled, tripled sometimes because I had 40 hours a week, you know, whatever, to do the reselling thing. So it's not like this hasn't happened before. There were some months in my reselling career where I might only sell, you know, $2,000, $3,000 worth of stuff. And then all of a sudden it goes up 5 times that in a month. And this has never happened before. The other one is customer claims and late deliveries. And so I go on and look at those. I want to mark those off the list. There were, I think, 1 or 2 late deliveries. 2, I think, for the last 30 days. I can't remember if it was 30 or 90 for that review. Or not review, but for that data. And customer claims, I'm thinking returns. And I did, and if you remember, about 3 weeks ago, we had some returns. My return rate spiked. I don't think I've ever seen my return rate, you know, much over like 2%, but I like to see it under 1% or right around 1%, because, you know, if you're returning 5% of your stuff, you're losing a lot of money. All right, so here we go. Little pup's got to get out. There you go. You got your treat. Get on out. So we're about ready to go on a little bit of a beach trip. I was going for like 2-3 days, and then I was headed down to FlipCon, and I think I had spoke to one friend of mine, and that was it. And then I had another friend who had this happen to his account. He was permanently banned. And, you know, it was a different situation. What I've learned now, it was a different situation, but it was concerning. The language in this message matched some other language in some other folks' messages that did have their account banned. And I start thinking a little bit more like, is this real? What is going on here? And, you know, I'm like, there's no way they're doing this because I had, you know, 4 or 5 returns in a month. There's just no way. And if they are, something's really screwy. And the fact that the message came across early in the morning means to me there's some kind of automatic trigger here. So I'm thinking it's not some kind of clandestine eBay thing because I'm on YouTube and I occasionally make a video that speaks negatively about certain things, because overall I'm very positive about eBay. We address the issues as they arise with me. I know there's other folks who have different issues, but I didn't think this was some kind of a shadow kind of thing where they want the influencers to toe the, I'm like, I'm not going down that road. I started looking at my account. I had 1 item returned. The person said that the item was not authentic, and I take that stuff seriously. I don't ever want to sell anything that's not authentic, although I'm sure over the years, I mean, it happens, right? And I'm like, that can't be it. Matter of fact, I had a couple of items that I pulled out because I just wasn't sure weeks before. I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like, that can't be the issue either. I'm just trying to cross off all the list why this would happen, and then I'm like, you know, I'm just going to call them. I'm going to contact somebody. And right now, for me anyways, I've always been able to contact eBay in some way, shape, or form. It was impossible. I could not get anybody to talk to. And that's concerning as well. So, of course, there's, you know, you read all this stuff and there's no appeals and there's whatever. And now I start getting in my head, I'm like, whew, this is a big deal. And I don't, like I said before, there's still not full resolution, but there is. I'm going to get to the point here in a minute. I want to go through the thought process because this is the kind of thing, and I know some people out there who are listening, it may have happened to you. I'd love to hear your stories down below. I would love to see way more transparency in this process. I don't know that we'll ever see it. And contrary to popular belief, I don't have an in at eBay. I don't know anybody. I don't have a special number. I don't have any of that stuff. I know people say it all the time. It just simply isn't true. Matter of fact, when I went to the List Perfectly event and they had an eBay rep there, he had no idea who I was whatsoever. And I just was fortunate because before, I got up and spoke a few minutes later, and before that, I just was speaking to him. He's like, here's my card. And I'm like, cool. And I remembered I had that card. So that's part of the story here in a minute. And I'm fortunate not, there's a hold on my account. I'm fortunate enough to not have to have that money showing up every day or every week or whatever. And I'm like, well, we're going on vacation, FlipCon, they can hold the money for a while, and it just keeps piling up. The sales are going. I mean, it was like almost, I don't know what it was, almost like $4,000 over a few days. I'm like, they're holding my money. I'm like, what happens? And I started to think, and I told my wife, I'm like, hey, because she does, this is not a List Perfectly commercial, but this was the thought process. I'm like, how many of our items on eBay do you have in List Perfectly? And she's like, how about 1,200? I'm like, how about get those other 300, 400? How about get them all in there? Because almost everybody I've seen who had their account shut down, they lose everything. They lose all the pictures, the listings, and whatever. I'm like, I'm not going through and taking pictures of all this stuff. And so she did. She went on there and did that. There's another big, giant benefit of using one of the cross-listing platforms because the data is all stored in there. Shout out List Perfectly. Code Commonwealth, 30% off. See? It's not a commercial, but I guess it was. One more thing as a possibility went through my mind, and we were selling a ton of those Cutco knives, brand new Cutco knives. And it really bumped our rate up. And I'm like, do they think something like that isn't real? Maybe that's it. And do you remember me selling the 2 cards, right? I sold 2 LA Daily Cruise cards, and they were 800, 700, whatever. And they're obviously holding that money for both of those deals, or one of those deals. I think the other one had gone through for authentication. I'm like, if that's the case, why not do it with just the one item? Because I know people who have had eBay hold their money, but they tell them specifically they're holding it because of one particular item. Chernox Connection told me the story when he sold that $2,000 Harley shirt. I don't know, hopefully that's all right I'm saying this, I think it is. They were holding his money for that one shirt until the deal was complete. I'm like, okay, so that can't be it either. And then I saw something in the messaging system. Actually, it wasn't in the messaging system. I saw something that corresponded with the original message that I thought maybe was the issue. All right, I took a break and headed to the other cabin because I wanted to show you something. Plus, I needed a drink. Not a Mountain Dew commercial. And I wanted to show you this. This is another thing that got me thinking maybe it's something else. I went into my unsolds for a totally different reason, and I saw that these shoes were now in unsold. And I looked at the time that they were put in unsolds. I'm like, well, I didn't put them in there. My wife didn't put them in there. Nobody's awake. And it corresponded very closely to the time I got that message. These are bathing ape shoes. I'm like, these have been in the store forever. And I thought, no, we did inventory, and I think we delisted or didn't ever have them listed to begin with, and then we put them up. And I started to think, maybe this was one of those issues where eBay took something down and they tell you not to put it back up again, like it wasn't real or something, which, by the way, I think those are real. But I had something bathing ape taken down 5, 8, 9 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. And I thought, I never saw anything else get taken down. Maybe I relisted this item that it was taken down. That wasn't the case either. But the time period, eBay took it down because nobody in my family took that thing down. I'm like, but that's a little odd too. So I decided at that point, because I just had no answers, and it was days later, to make a phone call to this contact I had. And surprisingly, they called me back, which I was really pleased about because at this point we were down at the beach. And they called me back, and this is obviously way out of this person's field, but they did help me out. They gave me a little bit of an assurance saying, it's very, very possible that having a doubling of your sales in a month may have triggered this thing. And I felt at that point, I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong here. I'm not, money laundering. I'm not selling stolen merchant. Well, I don't know, unless somebody stole it at a garage sale. There's nothing I'm doing that's wrong here. I'm buying stuff at garage sales. I'm selling it on eBay. I can't imagine there being an issue here. And most of my stuff is low dollar with the exception of the occasional item. So after I talked to him, I felt a little bit better, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait this thing out. I don't want it to disrupt what we're doing as a family or disrupt FlipCon. I didn't want Dave and Carrie to tease me about it and make it all public and all that. So I decided I wasn't going to talk about it. I did talk about it with one eBay YouTube buddy and the couple of people that I knew personally that had this happen to them. And I did have a couple conversations with them. But this gentleman was very nice enough from eBay to say, hey, I can escalate this if you think it's a concern. And I was like, no, just forget it. We'll wait the 5 days and see what happens. Well, 5 days got there, nothing happened. 6 days, nothing happened. 7 days, nothing happened. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so I'm getting a little bit frustrated, but eBay sales are going through while I'm on vacation. Matter of fact, they were higher than usual. We were selling stuff like crazy when the store was shut down. I believe it was the 8th day where my money was released. I saw a payment go into my account and I'm like, interesting. So I went to see the messages, the email, maybe they're going to give you some kind of resolution. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's really my biggest issue more than anything is communication. It seems like these, it's not like Amazon where they kick you off willy-nilly and whatever, and they don't care. Amazon's so big, they don't care, right? eBay, for all of eBay's faults, I don't think that they try to be punitive with this kind of stuff. But man, the communication level has got to be better. And I think there's legal issues and stuff, but this is crazy. There's so many people whose livelihoods are tied to these platforms. And it is very assuring, to myself that we've dabbled in these other platforms. We occasionally sell on Mercari and Poshmark through cross-listing, and we do a little bit of local stuff. We have an antique booth. We do a little bit of whatnot. We do, obviously, eBay. So there's all these different ways to sell. And I like to have my toes in all of those waters, but I don't like to fully commit to them because eBay is a huge generator of sales. So that's really the big ending to this story, but I want to say a couple more things. Is that there really is no ending to this story. There is no resolution. I never got an email. They never tell you what was being reviewed. I would like to know that kind of stuff to avoid it in the future, especially people out there who depend on that income on a daily basis or a weekly basis. I think really, if I had to ask anything, and you guys can comment below if this ever happened to you, if you've ever had one of the periodic reviews or any review at all, did they ever send you a conclusion letter? Anything? That would have been super nice. I still would like it. I still would like to know what it was so that I could avoid. If it's those pair of shoes, I don't like the idea of companies going on there and not allowing you to sell this and using the Vero stuff and whatever to scare eBay and to scare sellers. I don't like that at all. I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed. But if that was it, I'd like to know. If it was the doubling of sales in a month or the new listings, if it's a particular, I just want to know. And I think that's a fair enough thing to ask. So at any rate, I'm not going to mention the name of the gentleman I spoke to, but thank you for at least being kind enough to talk to me about it, even though you didn't have all the answers. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if this has ever happened to you. I'm just going to go on continuing selling the way I do. I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, there may be mistakes along the way, but nothing that would rise to the level of losing an account. And those kind of horror stories, I started to Google, read them sometimes. It's like, holy moly, no appeal in the language they use. I think that fear factor is something that they use to work in their favor. And, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right way to go about it, though. I just got to tell you that much. But we got a bunch of sales. Let's take a look. All right, y'all. This video is filmed in 3 segments, which might explain the different shirt and the dough hat. Had to get my bag down from my bin from up there. So the Vera Bradley. That might be it if there's something else in it. Because this is a purse and a little jewelry bag. I think... Yep, it has it in it. And that's another little thing with Vera Bradley, because they're not high sellers, although there are a few that are. I'll say this again, I put it on Instagram the other day. Good condition, desirable pattern. This isn't the most desirable pattern, but it had an extra in it, whether it's a wallet or something like that, that matches, and that helped it $1 into $20 plus shipping. And the next one's inside, and I do not want to take the camera in there because I don't want to hold this one with one hand. It's already going to be tough enough to ship. I got to get it from there to here. And here it is. This one right here, this pig. And it is not a piggy bank, although it looks like it is. And I got this from my buddy Jeff. And I just couldn't leave it behind. I knew I wasn't looking forward to the day I had to ship it, but we're definitely going to double box this thing. We're going to bubble wrap it with small bubble, bubble wrap it with big bubble, put paper all around it, put it in one box with padding all around it, and then take that box and put it in another box that will also have padding around it. So that's a lot of work for something like this. And it did sell for a lot of money though. It sold for $150 plus shipping. Had another Family Guy sale, and I love it when these sell because they go for okay money, $20 plus shipping, but they take up a little bit of space. And if you haven't seen that video, I don't know, maybe I can link it here, or you can just go find it. We did a little Family Guy draft with Rod picking and punching, and Mike Deathpile Picker, and Leroy was there too. Blood, Sweat, and Sell over there from the Reseller Information Network. Of course, it has to be the one in the back right here. And this one, I believe, went to a viewer. We sold a lot of these pretty quick, and then these have kind of slowed down. Sorry, I'll just put these back real quick. And let me put that helmet back too. Whoop. There it is. And that's Family Guy Christmas Pint glass 4-pack. That sold for $20 plus shipping. And I went to Craig, and he says, "Hello there, my name is Craig. I'm a college psychology professor and occasional eBay seller. Mainly whore items and sports cards." I don't know about psychology professors selling whore stuff. That might mean, yeah, no, I'm kidding. I cannot get enough of your videos. I love the family element and the transparency. I knew I had to send some support your way. I would love if you could throw in some stickers. This will be posted in a place of prominence. Thank you and God bless. So we always throw in this sticker here and a card. And I'll throw in a few of them for you. How's that? There you go. And we'll send that on its way. Thank you, Craig, for your purchase. We appreciate it. And I love that. You know, there's a ton of just part-time resellers out there. I was a part-time reseller supplementing my income for years and years. I want to talk about that further in an episode down the line. The next item I picked up at sale for $5. We're going to make some really good money, but not as much as I initially thought. I had to check the models and what was included, but we still made really good money. Just realized I walked past it right here. Laser Light Laser Target. I looked up comps, and I'm like, wow, this is going to do pretty good. Grabbed it for $5, but it wasn't quite as good as I thought. But it's still really good. $5 into $90 for this. It's a target trainer. Instead of using, you know, ammo and stuff for a police officer, the guy was a police officer, and it was a target trainer. So $90 plus shipping on that one right there. Sold an item that we almost never sell because I almost never find it around here. We don't have a high income level in this population around me, and so we don't find Birkenstocks very often. I remember growing up, being a kid, living in Southern California, and everybody and their brother had Birks on, and I had fake Birkenstocks on, and they used to tease me, but thus my non-affinity towards higher end shoes. Not that these are extremely high end or anything, but I was surprised they sold as quick as they did. And like I said, I usually don't grab them, but that's because I don't see them. But I saw these Birks sold for $39.99 plus shipping. Look at that. I didn't even have to tell you to sit down, did I? You just did it. It says, that's not my normal treat in here. I don't like that milk bone so much. But in spite of all that, we've got some work to do, which is an incredible blessing after that kind of scare. And we made a deal on this one. So all this Harley stuff we've been selling off, and I think this one is on top. There's two different chain belts, quantity settings. So this is it right here. And we had these listed pretty high, like around, if they all sold off individually, in the upper 400s. Although it was send off, or some might have been less than that. But I had somebody contact me, and we conversed a little bit, and we came up on a price if he bought them all, and we sold them for $273 plus shipping for all of them. So, you know, you make a little less, but boy, they all get sold pretty quick, and that's always nice. Of course, let's take a look at them. 7 of them. They will undoubtedly sell them in a shop, probably a bike shop or something. You know, who knows what they're going to do with them and double their money on them. And we're into them for hardly anything. You know, the buy cost on them is just a few bucks a piece. So we're making a really nice profit on those, selling them off in bulk. And we had a Care Bear sale as well. And you can tell there's been different incarnations of Care Bears. And I have found that the 2002 version one sells just fine. It's a little softer. You can kind of tell when you pick them up a lot of times. Of course, then you can look at the tag. But 2002 Sunshine Bear, is that what this one's called? I think that's what it is, right? And that one sold for $20 plus shipping. Sold a Samsung DVD VCR Combo. I had to move this box and then I need to sit it here. This is some swag sending out to John Cincinnati Picker for the Reseller Rally in September. Right there, it's going to be awesome. We're also going to be running a whatnot at the Reseller Rally live, all for St. Jude. Go ahead and bookmark it over there if you want to. And it's got a little damage on it, but it's tested working. The front is clean and does not have a remote. Sold for $79 plus shipping. Had to go back in the eBay cave again. For this one, we keep large items and clothing. Well, not all clothing, most clothing inside. Not surprised this one took as long as it did to sell, to be honest with you. Astros. It's a woman's Astro shirt. Kind of cool. 47 brands. Sold for $14.95 plus shipping. Man, I really need to get through some of these things that people have been sending us. We will do that soon. I'm thinking maybe of doing at least one time, just going over to the Garage Sale Nation channel and open all of it over there, because there's so much. So we'll see. Tell me in the comments what you think about that. Who's here? Wallen's here and Turner's here. What's up? You can come in? Sure. Of course. How you doing? Huh? What?
Mom's getting Wendy's.
Mom's getting Wendy's? Okay. Are you hungry? Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, we sold a video game right here. Crash Bandicoot, and this sold a little under market value. We try to put the video games right out there because we know we have a bunch of people who buy them from us that are viewers, so we don't want to be upping it. But this was great. If this is the black version, we could probably got almost double this, $11. But this one is the greatest hits. We could probably put it out there for a few more bucks, but you know what? We'll take it. I think you're wear your Tennessee Titans hat down here. You want to say thank you to Ray, Nashville Flippers?
Yeah, thank you, Ray.
He got Turner some Tennessee Titans hats, which is really cool. It's his favorite football team, and that's your favorite baseball team. And you were wearing that shirt yesterday.
Who got?
You got to change your clothes, but what?
Who gave me this?
Huh?
Who gave me this?
Who gave you that? That was Brian Klaus gave you that. That was very awesome of him. Anyway, we're gonna go up and see him. We're gonna go see the Angels. Yep. So you have a joke for us. What do you got?
Why are cats so good at video games?
Why are cats so good at video games?
Because they have 9 lives.
I love it, buddy. And you, every time you tell a joke, you get a
$1 to spend, $1 to save, and $1 to donate. Bye.
Turner decided to hang out in here for a while, huh? Mm-hmm. Referee hat's a new era hat. I like picking up referee stuff. Haven't in a while. Because people are going to be, referees for football and whatever this time of year, of course. And they're looking to find a better deal than what they have to buy their stuff for other places. And this one sold. This one took a while, but it did sell. It sold 25% off, actually. $10.50 plus shipping. I paid $1. When the camera was off, me and Turner having a conversation about AI. What do you think about AI, Turner?
It's taking over the world.
It's taking over the world. We sold the last Mel keychain from that Secret Life of Pets buy forever ago, and we've been selling them slowly but surely. Not much profit, but I loved multi-quantity, and we sold them for a long time. $6.71, I think, at 25% off. Now I went to a viewer, and it went to William. He says, "Hi, Kevin. Me and my wife are avid fans of your YouTube channels. We enjoy your discussions with American Arbitrage and Dave." Discussions? Is that what you call it? Discussion? Keep up the good work. Was hoping you could do a shout out to our eBay store. Aces up. Aces up yours? Uppers? Up yours? That's probably why you like the discussions with Dave and Carrie. Aces up URS. Okay, this would really help us. Oh, and then he tells me how to pronounce it. I probably should have read this first. It's pronounced as Aces up yours. Oh my. Just in case. Haha, thank you. All right, very good. Thank you very much for the purchase. We appreciate it. I turned off the camera and Turner said something and I missed it. So say it again.
I said that's inappropriate.
That's inappropriate. Well, Dave and Carrie are inappropriate too. Hey, we are headed out to the other shed out here. I've got a little bit of work to do. We've got to get some pictures because we're getting a little low. And we have to get a little whatnot together as well for the September 6th show. Still a ways off, but getting a little closer, and we're headed out of town for a day or two. Turner's out here. I thought maybe he was following me to help, but he said no, he's just checking on the dogs. Anyway, just want to say thank y'all for joining us. I hope your sales are going well. Let me know in the comments below, and I can't wait to see you next.